Hi, I'm Peter Tragos, host of the Lawyer You Know podcast and YouTube channel. The saying goes, everyone hates lawyers until you need one. Well, I'm here when you need one to answer your questions and give you insight that you didn't know you needed. Along with my partners, Pete Sardis, the professor, who has a finance and business background, and George Tragos, my dad, and the consigliere, a criminal defense giant, we can answer any questions you have.
Hi everybody, Pete Sardis for the Lawyer You Know, and we are back talking about Sunny Balwani. It is the second week of May. Things are happening. Things are kind of dull, frankly, but there are some things I do want to tell you about that did pique our interest this last week. But before we go over those, as always, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the series, please subscribe to our channel. And as always, please leave me questions and comments below. Okay, let's back up for a second. We've talked about this previously. The government is just going right down the line in their playbook the exact same way that they did in the Elizabeth Holmes trial. Why? Well, it's tried and proven. They got a conviction out of the way they tried the Elizabeth Holmes case, so now they've decided that they're going to use the exact same playbook to prosecute Sunny Balwani because chances are they'll gain a conviction against him too. Nothing strange. This is the way that prosecutions normally work when you're talking about multi-defendant trials. So again, nothing strange. We expected the government to do this, and that's in fact what they're doing. The main focus looks like they're trying to link Sunny Balwani to that big Walgreens deal where Theranos put those Edison machines inside of the Walgreens stores. The key being that Sunny Balwani was intimately involved in that process and had actual knowledge that the Edison machine, Theranos' technology, did not provide results that were either accurate or consistent, but yet continued to go forward on that plan with Walgreens. Anyway, that's kind of what this testimony's been focused on for the last couple of weeks, and I anticipate that's going to be the crux of the government's case probably for another week or so. But regardless, we do have some interesting things that happened this last week, and I want to go over those with you because I think they're worth noting. So let's start with the first big thing. If you recall, in the Elizabeth Holmes trial, there was a document that was shown that had a Pfizer logo on it that was purportedly provided to investors to demonstrate that Pfizer, along with Theranos, had conducted a study that demonstrated the effectiveness of the Theranos technology. Well, the government has introduced that exact same document in the Sunny Balwani trial in order to see if the jury will convict him based on the knowledge that he purportedly had about that falsified Pfizer logo on the document. Now, this is interesting. And the reason it's interesting is that during the Elizabeth Holmes trial, Elizabeth Holmes actually testified that she, in fact, put that Pfizer logo on a Theranos report. She said that she distributed it with that logo because she did not want people to think that Pfizer was not getting the credit that they deserve for their help in putting this report together. Now, of course, Pfizer's executives testified in the Elizabeth Holmes trial that, number one, they didn't know about her using their logo on this report. They didn't authorize her to use their logo on this report. And in fact, they did not even agree with the information that was inside of that report that would have ever allowed them to place their logo and purport the information within it as true. So the part that I find a little bit interesting is Elizabeth Holmes has actually taken responsibility for the act of placing the Pfizer logo on the document. But now the government, again, right down the playbook, is trying to demonstrate that Sunny Balwani either was part of that decision, knew about it, or was involved in the fabrication in order to induce investors to come and invest with Theranos. All right, so why are they doing this? There's a real simple answer to this, and the simple answer is because Sunny Balwani is charged as a co-conspirator with Elizabeth Holmes, the law basically says that anything that Elizabeth Holmes does as part of the conspiracy, Sunny Balwani can be held responsible for. Now, the way the government is presenting it is that Sunny Balwani either was part and parcel of the decision to put that logo on the Theranos document and that he knew that the information inside of it was not accurate. Now, we'll see if the jury buys that. And the reason I'm saying it is, at some point, I presume the testimony is going to come out that Elizabeth Holmes had actually testified to taking responsibility for that action. So the key is going to be whether or not the jury first of all, here's that evidence. And number two, whether or not they're going to believe that Sunny Balwani had anything to do with this. Again, we'll keep you posted as things happen in this regard. Other than that, the only other thing that was of interest was there was a government lab inspector that testified. She basically talked about the shortcomings in the Theranos lab that she found when she did her inspection. Now, this particular lab inspector did not testify in the Elizabeth Holmes case. She is a first-time witness, and the first time we're hearing of her is here against Sunny Balwani. Of interest is Sunny Balwani as being shown to be the person who is responsible for the operations within the lab, and that his area of operations encompassed taking care of the lab and making sure that the lab directors were doing what they were supposed to be doing. We've talked about it in previous videos. Obviously, the lab directors were not doing what they were supposed to be doing, or let me change that a little bit. The labs were a mess because they were not able to provide consistent and accurate results for the blood samples that they were collecting, which is why, of course, they were using the commercially available Siemens machines to run most of this blood lab work. So, again, these are the two main things that we've seen this week. The key, I think, for the prosecution is obviously tying Sunny Balwani to as much as they possibly can. The key for the defense is distancing Sunny Balwani from Elizabeth Holmes and all of these decisions and keeping him as much of a spectator as opposed to a participant that is possible. So with that, we'll keep you posted as things happen. In this trial, we're going to keep you posted again on Elizabeth Holmes. Her sentencing is coming up in September. I'm expecting over the course of the next couple of months to start seeing sentencing materials come in, so we will get some information to you on that. But for now, tell me what you guys think. What's going on with Sunny Balwani from your perspective? Do you think the trial is going well for him? Do you think it's going poorly for him? Do you think the government's ahead of the game? Do you think they're behind the curve? Tell me what your thoughts are generally, and let's see if we can find some questions that you have that I can answer for you on the subject. But with that, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're enjoying this series, please subscribe to our channel. And remember, questions and comments, leave them down below. See you next time.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you like this content, please share it with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to our page and like our videos. If you want some interaction, get in the comments and we'll be sure to get back to you. If you want to know any more information about our firm or this page, you can find out in the description or visit tragoslaw.com. We post multiple times throughout the week, so make sure you hit that bell so you can get the notification and not miss out on the next episode.